The sophistication of the Ocean's 11 movies, but several major casinos were robbed. Metro arrested the guy they think pulled it off. It's this man, a local guy, 33-year-old Deshante Stiles. In fact, in one of the robberies, he apparently said, "Give me the stacks or I will shoot you." That's what he allegedly said as he robbed a local casino.
Yeah, and that was just one of many incidents. And after striking for 5 months, Stiles was finally captured last week. Fox 5's Kim Passoff tells us how police were finally able to catch him.
Casino cages in Las Vegas and Henderson hit at the same time of day by a suspect matching the same description, each time claiming to be armed with a gun and covered head to toe, but wearing the same gloves. The first holdup happened last November at the Gold Coast. For 5 months, the robberies continued.
The suspect was brazen and a threat to our community.
Detectives say Stiles also hit Green Valley Ranch, the Silverton, Rampart, and Palace Station casinos before holding up the M Resort just last week. Metro says he often used the same note, demanding the cashier, quote, "Put the 10 stacks in the bag or I will shoot." When he was finally arrested, a gun was found on the seat in the stolen car.
Long history of being a dangerous criminal and had previously served a prison sentence for the same type of crimes.
Fox 5 dug into his criminal history. We found 4 prior robbery convictions. Kim Passoff, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
We understand that in one robbery alone, Stiles got away with $30,000. Detectives say that he used stolen cars during the crimes, except for one instance where he hailed a cab. That cab driver waited outside and had no clue what was happening. Well, Stiles now faces 35 charges. His bond is set at $500,000. He has a preliminary court hearing set for May.